Hello everybody, thanks for joining me. I'm going to hop on today and just show you a couple of quick and easy Valentine cards. And I'm going to show a couple alternatives. So if you don't have the stamp set or a Valentine stamp set in general, I'm just going to show you how you could switch this and make the whole card without using any stamping. I'm going to offer an ordering special at the end. If you place a $50 order with me, we'll send you all the supplies you need to make 2 of each card. And if you don't have a Valentine stamp set, you can get the supplies to make the alternate cards. You just need to let me know if you place an order, if you want the kit that is for the stamping or the kit that is the alternative. So I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes here, see if we get some people hopping on. If you're watching, comment below, say hello, let me know where you're watching from. Hoping everybody that's kind of in the majority of the United States is prepared for this huge winter storm that's coming through. We're watching it carefully as our kids live in Charlotte, and we're hoping that they don't get all of the ice that they're talking about potentially getting. Having lived in Charlotte basically over the last 25-30 years, freezing rain and sleet in that area is pretty catastrophic. So really praying for everybody that's in the path of this winter storm, because it looks like it's going to pack quite the punch for a lot of people. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I've got a couple cards here I'm going to show you, and I wanted to start off by saying that neither of these are my design. This first one that I'm going to show you is this Sending You Love, and I know you've probably heard me mention her name before, but one of my favorite people that I love to see what she makes is Amy Coenders. I think that's how you say it. And this was one of her cards, and I saw it and was like, yep, love it. Love everything she does. We just have a very similar style. I like how most her cards are like mine, where they're kind of quick and easy to make. So if you wanted to make several of these, it would be easy to do. And I'm going to show you how to make this one. And then the other card that we're going to make is going to feature some of the designer paper from the Made with Love 12x12 designer series paper. And we're going to use the dies from the Endless Love bundle. And I'm going to I just cut out a bunch of hearts out of the designer paper. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Oh, and this one was inspired by somebody. Her name is Kim. I did not write it down, but I remember it was like something catchy, like Kim plays with paper or something like that. So I wish I had written it down. I just remembered in my head that it was something catchy like that. So, all right, I'm going to start with this one. And again, we're using the Endless Love bundle. This is the stamp set. I've used it quite a bit. I don't usually do a lot of Valentines, but this year I have just been all in on making all these Valentine's classes, scrapbook pages, and all of it. And it has the coordinating dies. So you'll see on the second card, we're going to actually use this heart die to cut out all the hearts out of the designer paper. So I'm going to just set that aside. I have already pre-cut some supplies, so I'm going to bring those over. And I'm going to go ahead and this is going to be, we're using a white card base, so it's just a half a sheet of white cardstock that's cut in half and then scored in half. Get my foam folder out, give it a good crease, and I am going to get out my Stampin' foam mat to do the stamping, and we're going to stamp this right on the front of our cardstock. So there's not a lot of layers to this. we are going to add to the side, you can see that we're going to add to the side this piece here, which I believe this Real Red piece is probably 1 1/8 inches wide. And then it has some designer paper that's going to go over the top of it. If you need a guide before you start stamping, you could set this on here for now, just so you have an idea of the space that you're working with. I'll go ahead and leave it there just so that it kind of makes it easy for everybody to see and understand. So we're going to start by, we're going to use a couple of the hearts from the stamp set, the Endless Love stamp set. And we're going to start with Flirty Flamingo, and we're going to use this striped heart. I'm going to ink it up. I'm going to test it on a little sheet of paper over here. And we're just going to stamp it kind of in the middle. All right. And then we're going to open our Real Red ink pad. And we're using the heart outline. And this heart outline, you can also cut it out with the heart die that coordinates. So we're going to ink that up with the Real Red. I always like to practice it on my scratch paper before I actually put it on the card. And then we're just going to overlap it. Just super, super simple. And we're going to use the Sending You stamp set, or stamp from the set. And we're going to use black. And this is Memento black ink that I have just used an ink refill, and I put it in the white craft pad and created just a larger surface to work with. All right, and we're going to stamp that. We're going to overlap this heart a little bit. And we're going to come back to the Real Red ink, and we're going to use the Love stamp. I think what I love about Valentine's cards is that you can give them to everybody. Give them to your friends, give them to your kids. Obviously, you should give one to your husband or your wife, or just your significant other. We're going to add the love under Sending You. And just like that, like it's a super quick card, and we're ready to finish it off. So I'm going to go ahead and fold the card back again. I'm going to give it another crease since we had it open. And then using our glue, I'm going to adhere the 2 layers of designer paper. And it gets put on the left. The left edges are going to match. They're going to line up together, so you have a little overhang on the right. Then we're going to go ahead and add a little glue here and just line it up on the left side of the card. Now, the hardest part to do, I think, on camera is I'm going to show you how to tie this bow. So we're going to, I believe that I've got a piece of twine. This is the Real Red and White twine, and I think I cut it to about 32 inches. And so I'm going to kind of just pretend like that's half the bow so that I know I'm going to put the bow here. That's kind of where I want to start. I'm going to just wrap the ribbon around the card twice, but it's going on the inside of the card. And I should have about the same amount, same like length. Perfect. All right, so I actually really like tying bows, but I know there are a lot of people that don't. Most of my kits, when I provide them for you, if it's like a standalone bow, I actually tie it for you. This one I won't be able to tie for you because you need to do all the stamping and other assembling first. But I am going to, what I like to do is, I've got this all twisted. Here we go. I'm going to tie a knot first. Because I just think it becomes easier to work with if you can get the twine tied tightly around your card base. So right now, that's all I've done. I've just wrapped it around the inside of the card base. And now that I've got my knot here, I can come back and I can add the bow. And you can play with that and get your strings to whatever length you want them. I like to kind of get it to the right size and then pull on both sides at the same time and just kind of tighten it up that way. We're going to take our scissors and just cut off a little bit of the end. And just like that, super quick and easy card. Thank you so much, Amy. And now I want to show you my alternate card, which what I did was I did the exact same thing, but I cut out using the dies. I just cut out one of the hearts and then one of the heart outlines, and I added those onto the front of the card instead of doing the stamping. So it just kind of replaces what we did with stamping, but with die cuts. And then I took the letters LOVE and added them on the front of the card. And these come from our mini alphabet dies that we have. I'll pull it out of the case so that you can see it without too much shine. And it's basically this full sheet of letters. And there's a lot of duplicates for the popular letters, which is great, because if you're trying to cut out, you know, something that has 2 A's in it or 2 E's or something, you know, it just makes it much easier if you just run it through once. But these are really fun to work with, and this just gives you an idea of the size of these. So again, if you decide you want to place an order and get these cards for free, just let me know if you want the card kit where you're going to do some stamping or the card kit where you're going to get all the die cuts. All right, set that aside. And let's pull out the other one. This is our Happy Valentine's Day card, and again, inspired by a lady named Kim. And someday I might track her down and figure out what her last name was. And for this one, I took a piece of cardstock that is white, and it's 4 by 5 1/4. And I used our embossing folder that is called Hearts of Love. It's part of the suite, and I'm sure there's quite the reflection there. But maybe if I just put this in front of it, that might help. It's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, I know, there's a big halo. I'm really sorry about the halo. If somebody knows how I can do this and actually get the light without the halo reflecting, let me know. That would be great. So what I did was, instead of running the whole piece through the embossing folder, looks like you can't even open these, I actually didn't, I just left the bottom. So I put it in here, but I had it hang over because I didn't want it to be embossed on this part so that we could do the stamping of the words. So I ran it through the embossing machine, and then I have that piece there. So I'm going to get out my foam mat, and we're using the Happy and the Day and the Valentine's stamps from the bundle. And we're using Real Red ink. It's hard to go wrong with Real Red ink. And I'm actually going to stamp the Valentine's first. And I want it to be almost centered, but actually just a little bit to the right of center. And then we're going to add the happy to the left side. If you wanted to get creative, you could do these in different colors. You could do these in the Flirty Flamingo or in Pretty in Pink, because those match the colors in the designer papers. We're going to add the day to the right. I'm going to go ahead and close up this ink pad so I don't stick my hand in it. And we're done with the stamping. So now our card base is a piece of Real Red cardstock that is just a half piece cardstock and then is scored in half. We're going to go ahead and fold that. Use our bone folder, give it a good crease, and have a piece of white cardstock that's 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside. So we're going to do 5 little dots of glue. Put that on the inside. And if you want, you could totally take some of the stamps from the stamp set. There's one actually that would be really cute to add. So there's a stamp in here that has a bunch of hearts, or even a single heart. But you could stamp those down here in the corner and just add a little extra to the inside of the card. It's one of those things I always think about doing, but never actually do, because I just like cards to be quick and easy. And then for the front, we're going to add our piece of embossed cardstock that we stamped on with our 5 dots of glue. All right, now I have cut out 5 hearts from our Made with Love designer paper. And we're just going to add them. I say I've cut them out. I've cut them out with the die, the coordinating die, using our cut and emboss machine. So we're just going to take and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. We're just going to start adding the hearts to the front of the card. We got one here. This one to go on the left side. And then I've got these hearts to go in the middle. So it's a super quick and easy card. You could easily mass produce this if you wanted to make several of these to send out to your friends and family. So let me show you the alternate in case you don't have the stamp set or any Valentine stamp sets. What I did for the alternate was basically the same thing, but I used the XO dies from the coordinating die set. So you can see that there's some XOs. There's also some X's. So I just cut those out using Real Red, and I love how the O has the little heart in the middle. So I just added those to the bottom instead of the stamped words. And then I took some Real Red cardstock, and there's a couple different arrows. There's a large arrow, and then there's a couple of smaller arrows. And I cut out the large arrow, and then what I did was I just cut it in half so that I can stick behind the heart, and that way you can have it stick out as little or as much as you want when you put it on there. So that is the alternate. So if you do not own a Valentine stamp set or this particular stamp set, and you would prefer to just have the alternate cards, just let me know. I believe that was it. It was pretty fast today. Again, if you place a $50 order by Monday, I will send you a card kit in the mail for free that gives you all of the supplies to make 2 of each card. And if you want the alternate cards, just let me know. Just after you place your order, maybe just shoot me a quick email. And if if you bump it to $75, I will actually throw in a sampler of our Made with Love designer paper, which is where all these hearts came from. And don't forget, for the rest of the month, if you place a $50 order, you'll get a $5 coupon from Stampin' Up! In your email. If you have to go on the website and place it through my website, but you'll get an email with a $5 off coupon that you can use in February. So hope you enjoyed. Happy stamping, and I'll see you next time.